going, y'all? I'm Frank Cooper.
I'm kind of frustrated with the show, but I'm also Marcy. Hi, everyone.
And we are the Watchers in the Basement. Um, Welcome, ladies and gents. We are here for season 2 of Landman, episode 5 and 6, The Pirate Dinner and The Dark Night of the Soul. Um, so, Marcy, tell me your thoughts about these last two episodes.
Not a lot really happened. We just get some more backstory about Tommy and kind of his mom and his family life. More Ariana and Cooper drama and more of Cammy cozying up to the cartel. So not a ton really happened, which is kind of a deviation from the previous two episodes where it feel like the storyline did progress a little bit more, but um just a lot of good old Taylor telling us that times are changing and progress and all this stuff. So it's a really big theme with him and his shows, and he's really making it shown here in Landman, where they keep on talking about, well, progress in the good old days, and it's just we get it, Taylor.
Yeah, episode 5 was to me it was a drag. I didn't really. It was fine, I guess, but I didn't think it really furthered the story. Episode 6 for me was a lot more the dialogue between Tommy and TL made it worth the episode's while for me. Um, I'm all about like men being emotional with each other, being vulnerable with each other. Like I love seeing that. Um, I don't really do that as much in my personal life, but like seeing it manifest on TV is kind of was kind of like the highlight for me these last two episodes. Not just Tommy and TL, but even when Tommy is talking to Cooper, I just appreciate those connections and dialogue because you just don't really see men talk like that. As much as I'm disappointed in a lot of parts of season 2, I do appreciate the further dialogue between the three generation of of, of Tommy's bloodline. But yeah, episode 5, I'm with you. It was very very slow. Um, just to speed things up, we know apparently Cooper's a good salesman. Cooper has this knack of like finding the diamond in the rough, or black oil, or black gold, as a lot of people say in the South. We know Galino's contract wasn't as cut and dry as Cooper thought it would be, and it looks like Cooper won't see a dime for a while due to the setup of the contract. It got to a point to where Tommy had to step in and pretty much absorb all of Cooper's debt because Tommy's been there before. We find out throughout the seasons or duration of the last two seasons of the mistakes that Tommy made that kind of led him to the economic downturn of '08, where he lost everything. And I think his missteps, he does not want to see Cooper go through that. I think the big reason why he wanted Cooper to go to school and finish school and get away from what he went through as a landman and in the oil business. Which I mean, I think that as any father, you don't want the pitfalls of your failings trickle down to the next generation. That's why I really appreciate Tommy. Um, and I think Tommy doesn't really give himself a lot of credit as a father based on what he went through. He sells himself short in that regard. Cooper gives him all the credit, like he knows, and I think Cooper knowing what his father went through in a bird's eye view from his grandmother's funeral, he knows that Tommy is very hard on himself and he didn't have a great childhood. But I do give Tommy credit, man. He does not want to see his son struggle. Um, that debt's a lot to take on. Well, not for Tommy, I guess for Tex Wall. Um, but what I found interesting with all that being said, all that's going on, does Cammy know about the absorption of like the debt that she's not taking on that now that Tommy brought Cooper back into the fold at Texas Oil?
I don't think that's been discussed. I mean, they didn't show her finding out about it or Tommy having a conversation about it. So as far as we know, she doesn't know. Did that happen off camera? We have no clue, but Tommy is acting in his capacity as president to, I guess, do this. I don't know if it'll come back and bite him in the ass, but you're right. He is trying to protect Cooper and have him not go through the same crap that he did. And Cooper, my man, you were just like, what, one semester away from graduating? You just could have waited a few more months and you could have at least had your college degree and then had a little bit more knowledge to hopefully keep you from making some of these mistakes. But I think all of that just, you have to gain that through experience and you have to like go through crap. So as much as Tommy wants to help him and like try to keep him from that, you don't learn and grow until you've made mistakes. So some of it is inevitable.
Yeah, I agree. And from Tommy's perspective, I don't know how much longer he can go on. And Nate kind of brought it to light in episode 5. Like, you can't keep being the president of Texel and a landman at the same time. Like, there's too many issues to be had and to be dealt with that one man can't handle, especially if you're pretty much Cammy's right hand man for the time being. And it's a slow episode, but like I feel like as slow as it is, Tommy is going through a lot because the oil tanker incident with with the explosion, that accident, and now a dead person, in a result of that, and then on top of that, the offshore drilling or lack thereof in Louisiana that's never been done, and they still can't find the 400 million up to this point either. So it's kind of like, if you're a Tommy man, it seemed like to me the $400 million missing money in the offshore oil drilling project that needs to be done in an X amount of time needs to be the focal point of your focus right now, especially since Cammy is going through all this the first time and doesn't know what's going on. How long do you think Tommy can maintain being a landman and president, especially knowing that Cammy is so inexperienced in this trade right now?
I mean, I don't know. Poor dude looks so run down and ragged. Probably not a lot. He's got stress. He smokes all the time. He drinks beer. He needs to be a little bit healthier, and I think that will help him with some of the stress. But no, my man is like running himself ragged. Poor thing. Yeah, but hopefully now that I guess Cooper is going to assume the role of the landman, that'll help him out a little bit. But I mean, you're still trading one high stress position with another one of being president of the whole thing. And now you're dealing with the cartel, and now you're dealing with Cammy, who doesn't want to listen to you. And then we find out in episode 6 why he thinks or he knows why Cammy doesn't listen to him. And it's pretty interesting. I didn't look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it since we're going that direction. It makes you wonder how much pillow talk Monty and Cammy were having over the X amount of years prior to Monty's death. But like you said, like it's known now. Like, Tommy failed. Tommy didn't hedge his bets, and in Tommy's words, he didn't hedge, and he lost it all in 08. And I mean, now that we see that now that was discussed, and he told Galino that, it makes you wonder how much Monty unveiled to Cammy about Tommy's misgivings. But at the same time, Monty trusts him enough to put him in this position and have him run this company with all the things that he went through and failed on. But it does make you wonder, like, how much does Cammy really trust Tommy now that Galino's now is in the picture now as the knight in shining armor with this big financial investment to pretty much keep the company above water.
Yeah. So, and I mean, this is what we've heard from Tommy, right? Like, this is why he thinks Cammy doesn't trust him. Maybe she has stated this to him before, and that's why he thinks that. But maybe that's just all his thinking. Like, maybe that's not even the reason. So I just found it really interesting that he thinks, well, the reason she doesn't trust me is because I failed, when it can just be she just doesn't trust anybody because she trusted Monty, her husband, and now after his death, she's found out upsetting stuff about him that she didn't know, and she's all confused. So it could just be that she is not in the position to trust anybody because of her husband could quote unquote betray her by not telling her like the full extent of what was going on in the business. Then how's she going to be able to trust Tommy, who she's known for a long time, but that's not her husband. So it's really interesting to see why he thinks she doesn't trust him. And then maybe later on this season, we'll see Cammy explain, and maybe the reasons will be different of like, no, I just don't trust him because whatever.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that does get unveiled. It just doesn't. It doesn't look. It doesn't look promising though. I think Galeno being in the picture is creating a fracture in their relationship so far. And it's, I guess, when you're so desperate to save your legacy, and this is her family's legacy, right? That we come to find out that her husband, created in his garage, and now it's this multi-billion-dollar company, and you're trying to preserve that and give it to your kids. I guess you're willing to do anything to preserve that. And I must say, I was pretty shocked when Tommy pretty much came clean and told her, like, look, man, this is dirty money. He runs a cartel. He does dangerous things. And I thought I was gonna get like a gasp or a pause from Cammy, and it was more so like she kind of dismissed it, like, you don't know that, and this, that, and the third, and like this is a good deal and all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of like, you don't think Tommy is in the weeds of this shit? He's out there in these streets. So it's kind of like, how do you not know that?
Yeah, her reaction was interesting. Again, I was also expecting her to have some kind of bigger reaction than she did, but she either was really chill about it or she was good at seeming really chill about it. And then that also makes us now wonder, on the flip side, how much did she really know? And then how much did Monty know about the cartel's kind of dealings with MTEX, or like being on the periphery? Maybe he knew more about the cartel and kind of being involved with this company than we are to believe. And maybe she did as well, because she just seemed just kind of like, oh, well, I'm not going to believe you, Tommy. And you're kind of, whatever. I'm going to believe this new, like you said, knight in shining armor who can help me save this legacy. So it's all very interesting. And I'm wondering if that's going to lead into maybe like a big reveal later on this season, or, next season, I guess, since it's been picked up for a third season, for us to like find out more about just the cartel with MTEX and how much Cammy really knew about the business. She could have been like Monty's right-hand woman and just kind of masterminding some things, but I doubt it, because she didn't know about like the missing $400 million and how he had set up the C Corp and like all the other like shell companies and things like that to be able to not really funnel the money, but funnel the money that the MTEX was making.
Yeah, it's even when the lawyer was explaining that part to Cammy and Tommy, I had to like rewind a couple times because I got confused. I'm like, okay, so this money got leaked, got funded down to the company, got funded down to a trust, and then they got rolled into like insurances, and like it's like, bro, what? Like, how are you able to keep track of all of this? Like, it's amazing to me. And rich people, man, they constantly borrow things on credit. Like, they rarely ever use their own money.
Wouldn't it be nice if regular folks like us could do that shit? Like, that would just be nice if I could just do that.
Right. And I also wonder too, like, the cartel played a huge part in season 1. Like, we saw some of the dirtiest avenues with the cartel, to the point where Tommy almost got killed. I wonder if we see more of the cartel in this season at all. Because, like, with this kind of money involved and tied up into Tex oil now, I'm sure Galeno answers to somebody. Very standardly, there's a cartel member or cartel boss presides in America. Like there has to be somebody back in Mexico that even Galeno answers to, and I wonder if that comes to surface eventually.
That'll be interesting also because he's Cuban. He's dealing with like the Mexican cartel? Like, who really is the boss? Is maybe he the boss? We don't know, but I think we will have some more cartel activity because we also don't know who was in the truck that was in the oil patch by their rig, that either it was set up to look like a suicide or like somebody like murdered him and, did it with, the carbon monoxide from his truck. We still don't know what any of that was about. We just know that it happened. We don't know who was in it, who was behind it. That definitely looks shady, like cartel. So, yeah, I definitely think we'll see more of that.
Let's pivot a little bit to Ariana and Cooper's situation. I've made it clear a couple episodes ago. It might have been two episodes ago, 2 podcasts ago, of like my frustrations with Ariana. It's gotten worse with me regarding her. I don't understand the most loyal person that's in your corner. You're giving the most. You're making that person go through the most hoops, which I don't get it. Like, as far as we know, Cooper being on brand, Cooper is one. He's two things. If we have any questions about Cooper, 2 things for sure. He's loyal, and he is morally centered. Like, I haven't seen Cooper do any dirty shit at all in this oil business, in this series of like twists and turns and greediness and all that. Cooper's always been morally compassed and loyal as shit. And literally the most morally compassed person on this show, she's making this poor man go through all this shit. So this episode, we find out that, look, Ariana, she ain't trying to shack up. She ain't trying to play house, all that type of shit. She wants a ring on it or get the fuck on, which is fine. Look, I get it. Look,
yeah.
Look, like, I mean, all she knows is monogamy and being married. I get that. What I don't understand is why, and I get it. People do tests. They put people through tests to see how loyal they are, how much they love them. But to tell this man to drive the Corpus Christi, to ask for her father's blessing, a man that you don't really talk to like that, a man that already knows, look, man, you're a grown ass woman. What you're gonna do is what you're gonna do. To make that man drive 7 hours to Corpus Christi to ask for a blessing that he did not even care to give, and you come to find out that just a test, that gave me a lot of toxic traits to me. That was toxic as fuck. And I'm starting to think, is Ariana toxic?
You would like that, wouldn't you?
Not in that regard. Only in the bedroom. Not like this type of toxic. This makes no sense to me. What are your thoughts with Ariana so far?
I like Ariana, like, as a character, as a person. But oh my God, baby girl, like, you just lost a husband. You just broke up with this guy. You don't put him through, make him pass the test. Like, I mean, come on, like, you're right. That is kind of toxic. Be able to say what you want and say, like, maybe it means something to me for you to go and ask for my father's blessing or my hand or whatever. But if you're just doing it to see if he would do it, that he would do it for you. Like, there's no question. So I'm with you that, excuse me, that she shouldn't be putting him through like some bullshit tests. I guess you love each other. Sure, get married. Like, let's see what happens. But I mean, Cooper, you just found out that you got into like some kind of cartel shit because your dad told you. And you think now is the time to be marrying this girl and she doesn't know anything. You need to have that conversation first, Cooper, before you go and like talk to her dad. Just be like, hey, so by the way, here's what's happening with like the oil rigs, and I thought I was rich and now I'm not seeing a penny of it. So not only am I not rich, but also the cartel's involved. Yay. Um, so yeah, that would be toxic on Cooper if he doesn't come clean about that. So I'm just kind of like, you guys are just so young. Just live together. Just do that, man. Why get the government involved? Why, like, that is too much work.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't have to live there, bro. Live with your dad, or live. You're not a Texas or employee. Get your own place for right now until I figure things out. She wasn't sure she wanted to be with you just 2 episodes before that. Like, and all of a sudden she wants to get married. Like the swing of emotions is volatile, and I'm trying to put myself in a 22-year-old's mindset. Even I at 22 wasn't this volatile my emotions. Like, and I'm talking more so Ariana than Cooper. Cooper's been pretty consistent all throughout. Ariana wasn't even sure she wanted to be with him. Like she was all like, you know, you know, you asked you wanted to do this, but you didn't give me an option type shit. And now I don't want to be with you. Now I want to be with you. Now it's like, what if they get married and like next week she's like, we moved too soon. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just it gives a lot of volatileness that I'm just. And she was one of my favorite characters last year. Now she's becoming like more of the unstable characters on this show, and that's saying a lot when you look at Tommy's Tommy's wife and daughter. Like that's a lot for me to say that the most unstable person is you know Ariana. So I don't know. I hope. And then there's gonna be way more stress for Cooper on the horizon. I mean, they say that he'll get a check soon in the next couple of weeks, but what if that check is $5,000 and not $1 million or 500,000 or whatever? Like that's gonna even cause even more problems. And not to say Ariana's there for the money. Clearly, she's not. I mean, she's not. I mean, even when Cooper first struck oil, she didn't look impressed. She was happy for Cooper, but like it wasn't about the money for her, which I guess that is a redeeming quality for her. Even though her widow was making six figures a year and all of that, but yeah, I need her to mature a little bit more, So I guess we shall see. So Miss Falcone has had an interesting ride the last couple of weeks. Now I'm kind of confused with Rebecca here. So it appeared to me in the episode before she wiped the floor with these lawyers and these representatives for the Oil Shore Drilling Company so well that they even made jokes about her working for them. And then in episode 5, it flipped. Whatever they agreed on, they totally like flipped. And not only flipped, but said, "Hey, we want a running oil rig in 45 days," which is like unheard of in that business. What made you think that? What's the reason you think that it made them flip and go a different direction after Lily and Rebecca got the upper hand in this episode before?
I mean, for the plot, I guess. I don't know. I think they were just kind of like, no, we actually like this oil company has like Nate and then Rebecca, and like that's it. Like they should have like a whole big team of lawyers. And sorry, my dog's going crazy because he also doesn't agree with all this bullshit. But it just seems like they need like more legal firepower than just Nate and Rebecca. Like, come on, Sheridan, come on. But it'll be interesting to see like what ends up happening. And then does Rebecca like go to the other side? Like that would also be an interesting turn of events. But I want to see more of what happens with like this supposedly sexy guy that she met on this plane and had this one night stand, but maybe it's going to turn into something more. So we shall see. But yeah, sorry, I was going to go off on a tangent and then I was like, nope, reel it back in. Stick to Landman.
This is the podcast of tangents, man. Let loose.
No, I was just going to say I hated that old lawyer that was in that scene because he was in Mad Men and he played the guy that married John Hamm's character's wife after they got a divorce. And I did not like him, and everybody likes him. And Mad Men, and they're like, he was great. He was great. And I'm like, he was also an asshole in his own way. So I was like, oh, like I saw him and I was like, not this guy.
This is the podcast where therapy is key. Come clean. We're here. We're here to kumbaya.
I'm in the middle of my Mad Men rewatch, so that was all top of mind.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, so with Rebecca, it seems like now, and again, she's new to all this Landman shit, all this oil shit. Like even coming back from last season, she's been on the crash course ever since of like learning the ropes and like the contingencies and like the ups and downs and all the little nooks and crannies that it takes to be a lawyer for a multi-billion-dollar oil company. So now with this project being expedited and the oil drill now needs to happen within 45 days, the guy that she slept with now is now going to be her pretty much her geologist to pretty much break down everything that needs to be known about the all of the threats and all the pitfalls or potential pitfalls that it takes to build a rig within 45 days. It's kind of cool to see this side of Rebecca, like this, like she's so uptight and like you can tell she carries a big chip on her shoulder, being a male-dominated industry as a lawyer, and not only that, but compounded the male-dominated industry being oil and gas now, or just oil in general. She has like this suit of armor that she wears to protect herself, and in little moments, this young geologist guy kind of like pierces through that, and like she's able to be vulnerable. She smiled more being around him than I ever seen her smile in any other episode of this series. I hope the guy sticks around. What do you think this could potentially go for Rebecca?
Look, I like this for her. Again, like you said, she's very uptight. She's very tightly wound. She needed some and she got some. And I love that for her. I love that she was able to like not be a lawyer and like have that other part of herself. So I'm interested to see like what happens with this guy. And then is he also like helping like MTAX and like their case, or is it going to be something to where he's like maybe uncovering something unpleasant for the company, and then she's got to maybe go back and forth to be like, well, do I like listen to you and what you're telling me, or do I have to like back the company? So I think that could also be a really exciting angle. I mean, the mullet look is interesting that he's got going on, but other than that, he seems like a good looking guy. He seems like a lot of fun. And let's keep letting Rebecca let her hair down. You don't always have to, be in legal mode. Sometimes you just gotta, go for a ride on a bumpy airplane. I don't know.
In case you heard like a loud hollering sound, that was Brittany yelling in the background saying she hates the mullets. So as of right now, the mullet's not a good look for the guy. That's what the consensus says. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like we don't outside of Ariana and Cooper and I guess Tommy and Angela, we don't really see a lot of like love interest in the show. So this is kind of a breath of fresh air for Miss Rebecca. And I mean, the way she's getting digged down is, in episode 3, she may be more of a lighthearted character in the next few weeks as she maintains her closeness with this young geologist. So we shall see. Let's go to episode 6. So it's fresh in my mind because I just watched like an hour ago. But TL being at the house for me is like, I love all TL scenes. Like Sam Elliott needs to make a ASMR voice line module app. Like his voice is so stoic to me. He sounds like he just carries like just generations of history in his voice. Like he's so stoic. But seeing him in the house and seeing him interact with Angela and Ainsley and just the family in general, like it brings a smile to my face. Like you could tell that the years of heartache and pain just being cooped up in that nursing home and just kind of just waiting to die. Angela Ainsley kind of bring a liveliness to him. And the episode opens up. He's watching the sunset or sunrise as he does every morning, and Tommy's about to go to work, and he asks, which surprised me. He asked Tommy, "Hey, you want company?" And Tommy kind of refrains at first, and then he changes his mind and says, "Hey, let's go." And you kind of see more of that, of the father-son aspect of kind of them kind of mending fences. It's kind of weird because like they're mending fences without saying it, and like the way they interact, like even when Teal's giving him advice about Angela and advice about like what he needs to do as a landman, you can't tell they're estranged in those moments. Like he's like, "Yes, Pop, I hear you, Pop," or "Good point," and things of that nature. Like it's explain that relationship. What does that relationship look like to you, and kind of like what are your thoughts on that relationship so far?
Like you said, it's interesting because they have been estranged, but you still kind of see sometimes you see those little moments of respect from Tommy towards TL, and then sometimes he's dismissive. So it's good that we're seeing a little bit of a procession of like starting to be just kind of like cold and standoffish and just kind of like, I'm here just because mom died and we gotta like do this funeral, to now it's like, okay, now you're living in the house and we've had this pirate dinner, and now I'll let you ride with me to Fort Worth. So it'll be interesting to see like at the end of the season how much that relationship has progressed. Are they more comfortable with each other, or are they just still kind of maybe like trying to figure out how to deal with each other? But one thing that's getting like really tiresome is just like him going back and forth to Fort Worth. It's just, that's like half of the show is like him. Well, I gotta drive to Fort Worth. Now I gotta drive back. Where's the motherfucking jet? Like, wait for it to come back and then take that fucker back to Fort Worth and fly it back. It's just way too much. I think for next season, like Taylor just has to be like, okay, now it's going to be mostly based in Fort Worth because that's where Tommy has to be the president of the oil company. And then we can do like a few scenes in Midland where they're drilling, but all this back and forth, it's just kind of getting annoying and on my nerves.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Like they have a jet, like you said, they have a jet. Angela and Ainsley used the jet to go to Fort Worth, and they're within the hour. I was hopefully by mid-season that he would just focus on being president, and if Cooper is there in the Permian Basin, that's fine. But yeah, the back and forth every episode of him going to Fort Worth and having these 5-minute meetings with Cammy or having these 10-minute meetings with Galeno, it doesn't make sense. And really, to be honest, these meetings can be phone calls. I don't know why he has to fly. Like even in episode 6, when he drove to Fort Worth, he tells his dad, "Wait in the car. It'll be a 5-minute conversation with me and Galeno." Like, why couldn't this be a phone call? You guys have Skype and Zoom, like and Microsoft Teams. Just use that. Like, I don't understand why the face-to-face has to be so profound to get things done. It doesn't make sense to me why they're doing that. It doesn't. And then when they moving to Fort Worth anyways, like I know Angela was looking for a house. Apparently, like that kind of just wasn't mentioned in episode 6 either. So I know they're getting tired of bunking with Nate and Dale in the frat house, I guess. But I don't know. That kind of wasn't mentioned in episode 6 either. So, and then when is it going to school? Like I don't like that's is it still summertime? Like, I don't. That's so a lot of these moving parts that's supposed to be in fruition hasn't really been mentioned yet, which I find weird too. And then so I do understand your point of like the waste of time. They drive a lot in the show. We seen Corpus Christi, we seen Fort Worth, we seen where his dad and his mother were at in another city 8 hours north of the Panhandle. Like it's a lot of driving for guys who make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month or a year or whatever. So I definitely get you on that part. So I don't know. But so episode 6, we see now Cooper wants to propose, and he doesn't have a ring. This I could have done with this. I could have done with the scene too. Like I don't. All this could have been an episode episode 5. I feel like they kind of drug it on episode 6 with the ring thing. Um, and now we come to find out Cooper's going to ask his mom and to help find a ring, and his mom was like, "Well, I'll just give you my engagement ring," which I find weird because Angela said to I think to Ainsley or to Tommy that the ring was cursed because they failed. So why wouldn't we give that same ring to your son? That makes no sense to me.
It makes more sense than Rip digging up his dead mother's coffin to get her ring off her dead finger that she got when she married the guy that killed her. That was fucked up. Yellowstone, come on, like Taylor, what the fuck is wrong with you? But yes, it's still like I don't know, like I find it to be kind of like weird and cursed, and I don't like used jewelry, not because it's used, but again, like I don't know where it came from, so I don't know kind of like the vibes and juju that come with it. So I would not want like anybody else's ring. Like I would want my ring to be like brand new so then I can like screw up the juju of it all by myself, not have like that baggage. So like I just thought it was weird overall, but I guess it's nice that Angela wants to pass on the ring to Cooper and to Ariana, because then that means she gets like a nice brand new ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's gonna happen. I guess they're gonna get married, and let's talk about Cooper and just so I'm clear, the lady Ariana, that's Ariana's former mother-in-law. That what's
Her
name's the widow's mother?
former the lady who takes care of Miguel, the baby,
Yeah.
that's her former grandmother-in-law. That
Okay.
was LVO's grandmother.
Oh, it was damn. She looked young to be Ever's
I
grandmother.
know. That's what I said.
Oh shit! I thought it was Ever's mother. Okay. Um, she was pretty. She was kind of a highlight too in this episode. Like she seemed to be taking everything in stride, and to have. Sorry, Brittany's message come through me off. Oh, Brittany. Yeah, that I was surprised with how supportive she was because again, that's her grandson that passed away, and it's awesome that she maintains a relationship with her great grandson, Ariana's son. Um, were you surprised of how receptive she is to Cooper and the idea of Ariana getting married again so soon? Or because I think in this timeline it's been about 6 months. I think they mentioned in episode 2. It hasn't been that long.
Yeah, it has not been that long because the baby looks younger than like a year. So it's been several months. Was I surprised? Like, no, not really, because like, what is she gonna do? Be like, well, you can't, or like, no, now I'm gonna like disown you and like the baby. Like, I think she was just kind of like, well, she may be approaching it with like an older mindset of, well, it might just be good for you to find like somebody to take care of you and your son, even though like you do have the settlement money that you are saving for Miguel. Um, like maybe she's just like, well, if you found somebody and you think you're in love and he can like be there for you and support you, then maybe she like thinks it's a good idea. Because Ariana, I guess, convincingly talked about how she feels like it's true love because she feels it in her heart or like whatever. Um, so I mean, I like that the grandmother was like understanding and wants to take Cooper into her wing and under her wing, and she was like, okay, like here, like I'm gonna feed you, and like, like we can chill here. So I like that she's being understanding and not just being like, okay, well, like that's fine, but then not wanting to have anything to do with Cooper, but she's actually like maybe like trying to bring him into the family, which I think it's nice, but I think it's also like just part of like our culture to just be like, well, everybody's family, so like come on in, like we'll take you in. So, like I had no problem with that, and I don't think I was really surprised that that's what happened.
Yeah, it was very heartfelt. It was very heartwarming to see, and like it's kind of cool to see get a glimpse of Ariana's support as well. Um, to have Evio's grandmother be so pivotal in making sure that Miguel's good and just having that support is kind of cool to see. The little family aspects of this show I do appreciate, whether it's TL come back into the fold, Evio's grandmother, um, even with like Tommy and Angela and their weird relationship, marriage slash I don't know what there are. I mean he calls her his wife, but they're still not married again. And even with Teal giving advice on that to like, hey, nail that back down. It's kind of cool to see that little family aspect of like of like them showing that they care and like giving nuggets of like knowledge and just nuggets of like experience and wisdom in those moments. Let's talk about Ainsley and her arc or lack thereof. So as far as I know, Ainsley's going back to school. She's going to TCU to be a cheerleader. I mean, not to be a cheerleader, but like she's going. I don't know what she's going to school for. I mean, that's even that hasn't been said. All we know is that she's going to be a cheerleader at TCU. Um, I don't know. I'm at a point now. Like, I'm glad the actors are making money as Ainsley in this role, but I don't know what value she brings to this season so far. I've just kind of waited to see if something's gonna like hit and like manifest into a bigger role. Um, but she's been the same since episode one of season one. She hates Cooper for whatever reason. She's as ditzy as she ever was. Um, she's like the sexual relief of the show, I guess, with skimpy outfits and everything. I don't know her value to the show. I don't know. Even with Angela, like I've seen a little bit as far as like her being the bridge between between Tommy and TL and like trying to make the house a home. I guess that's development for her and the nursing home angle, but it's like with Ainsley, I don't know what's next for her. I don't. There's no. She had a boyfriend, didn't she? The quarterback that went no. That's I haven't seen him since last season. What are your thoughts with Ainsley and like? Do you see her character arc going anywhere this season?
Um, I guess she'll be starting college this season, but like you said, I don't know like where she really fits in or really the value that she brings. It would be great if Taylor would give her like some more substantial like storylines, but I'm with you. I don't really see where it's going. Maybe season 3 she'll be on the show less because then she'll be at college and actually doing college stuff.
Yeah, I mean maybe so. We shall see. I know they're moving the forward pretty soon, so I guess we'll see if that brings more clarity and more of a bigger role for her character. These two episodes were pretty cut and dry. There wasn't really much going on. I guess hopefully there's only 4 episodes left, so I guess hopefully more moves. I mean, I'm kind of hoping they wrap up this oil rig thing in Louisiana and get to other points, especially with the cartel angle, and that potential drama that's unfolding, and then with the oil tanker accident as well. I'm hoping that we get more accelerate story in that as well. Is there anything else you want to talk about with these 2 episodes, Marcy?
No, like with you, I'm just kind of like, let's get some more movement on like the cartel story, the oil rig, and more action than we've had in these last 2 episodes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I mean that is it for us for episodes 5 and 6 for season 2 of Landman. For anybody who wants us to talk about any other show that you might be into, give us a shout, leave a comment on any of our podcasts. We have some things coming up pretty soon. 2026 is going to be a very, very busy year for us. I know we have some Avenger trailers dropping in the next couple weeks. I know the third trailer leaked recently, so I'm sure Justin and company is going to talk about that. We have Daredevil next spring. We have White Marshals with Marcy and I covering that Yellowstone spinoff. We have Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer coming up pretty soon too. So again, road to 500, man. We are almost close. I think last time I looked was at 470, I believe. So please like, share, subscribe. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube as well. At Watcher's Basement, please look us up. For myself and for Marcy, this is episode 5 and 6 of Landman season 2. We are out.